Barefoot Bruisers. What's happening, guys? The Degman by Darac Steel, Dario, in the right pocket today. And then running back up, it's actually production knife, little Arius. Figured I'd carry it too. Just got this back from Billy the other day. Want to thank Billy for doing the heat treat test for me. As already previously mentioned, came in low, 57.5 on the heat treat for this guy. You know, at the time, I knew I needed to get better. I can almost tell. I even said it before I sent it to him. I was like, it just didn't feel right to me. Like, there's something a little off about it. And it wasn't way off. It's just a little off, right? You know, after you regrind and grind so many knives, you kind of get a feel for it. I ain't gonna say I could tell it was super soft, but it just didn't feel right. You know, like that's the only thing I can say is like I couldn't put my finger on what it was. It just didn't feel right. So I didn't really know what had happened. I was like, I just got to try it again and, you know, hope for the best and see what we can come up with next time around. So I knew I needed to refine a few processes. When I did the first time, and I was told, I was just ignorant. I'm like, you know, in the temper cycle, you use a regular oven, like a conventional oven. So I used my home oven. Olay was cool enough not to care. But yeah, I went ahead and got this little cheapo too, a little cheapo infrared temperature sensor thing. When I had my oven on 400 degrees, it was actually 500 degrees. So that's a substantial difference. 100 degrees. I thought maybe 20, degrees at the most. No, those things ain't accurate at all. So I could blame my shit cooking on the ovens are all different temperatures, right? Yeah, right. But hey, it's true. When I had it on 400, it was at 500. Well, I'd since got a little powder coating oven. It's basically like a toaster oven. Eastwood makes it for their little powder coat kit. They were on sale back around Christmas and stuff. And I think it was $100 for it. It basically has an element on top and bottom like your conventional stuff does for your, I guess, is it broil or whatever the hell, I don't know when it turns on both of them. But anyway, so it heats the oven more evenly. And I got a little cookie sheet and I put a piece of metal on it, or actually it was a drop from the knife that I'm fixing to show you. And I just kept shooting it till I could hold 400. And actually it was like, I don't know, somewhere set around 320 on this oven where it actually holds 400. So I guess none of those conventional ovens are that accurate. I thought for sure they'd be more accurate than that, but apparently they're not. So I believe that's what happened on my first heat treat. So what I'm about to show you is an ugly, ugly knife. The process wasn't about designing a knife that I thought everybody would like. This is for a guy who works at the veterinary onco department here, known him for several years. He's asked me for a knife for eons. I've told you this, but I don't want to make any more. Like, legit, like I'm not a fixed blade guy, so you're going to see it. I think this thing's fugly, but a while back, quite a few of y'all got together and got a knife made for me from PTSD Blade Works, whatever his name is. So I recycled the carbon fiber scales off this. That's why they're a little funky. And I recycled the sheath off of this, but it both work. Hey, so here's my ugly little fixed blade that I made for the guy. Don't plan on making any more, but it is, substantially thick. It's not like a little thin guy. It's obvious to me when I see, like, when I did Billy's knives, I did Shane's knives, and then I see my style. I'm like, everything I'm want to do is like just ridiculously thick and overbuilt for no reason other than be overbuilt. And I don't even know what this guy's going to do with his knife, if it does anything with it, but I figure what the hell. But I figured I'd show it to you. I wasn't going to at first, but I did this knife, and I'll spin around the knife and talk about it here in a second. I did this knife to basically get better at the heat treat. That was the whole purpose of this, is not spend a ton of time making the knife, just work on the heat treat on it. But that's why I made the fixed blade. I know, I'm long-winded, but y'all know that. It's probably going to be a long one. Kick back and relax. Put your headphones on. Do some laundry. Drive somewhere. Do some cardio. Whatever you're doing, what you're doing. 61.5. I got this one tested. I went to an old machine shop and it's 61.5. So I think, from the goals I was trying to set, that's pretty good. So I don't have cryo, so I just use freezer. They said freezer is similar, close. Every source you read tells you different information, and like, I know a lot of people have different opinions about different stuff, but I bought the book already, which is Larry Thomas's book. No, you can tell I've been through it quite a few times, and I got pages marked and everything else. And there's even a little bit of, I won't say controversy in data, but it's like, if you do this, you get that. If you do this, you get that. I'm just so new to the thing that I just need to do it and then figure out what works for me or what don't work for me. That's pretty much that simple. This one's got a proper edge I did on KME. This one I still haven't done it yet, so I believe I'll probably be able to tell when I put on the KME that this one's feeling a little softer, but overall still, like, for a functioning knife, like a reblade functioning knife, it has flaws, don't get me wrong, but like from what I did on it, I'm still pretty stoked with this one. Like, so I'm cool to keep it. Obviously this one's getting gifted to Kyle, but let me run through this knife real quick. So this carbon fiber scales, I did hide some jimps and some jimps. But what I did was, what my thought process was, is first I gotta be able to get in my oven, and this is legit as long as I can get in the oven, because with the foil on it and stuff, you got insulation around your doors. It's basically touching the doors, and you don't want the metal to touch the elements. So luckily I had a position where none of the elements would get touched, but it was legit the length of my, you're supposed to have enough air around it to be able to circle on it. So like essentially it's probably not heat treated as well as it could have been. There's probably, you know, differentials, like this probably got hotter up here and hotter over here, but you know, the purpose of the process was to figure out heat treat. So I'm not worried about the in details yet. I'm like, it's kind of like the whole, I don't know, whatever you're into, you know, you can be into sharpening, like you hate the way this is going to smile. But, you know, honestly, dude, I don't think this dude will ever sharpen this knife. It'll probably never get used. Back to the knife. I was trying to design it where I can make it as small as possible and still get my hands on it. So I'm just going to take you a lap through it. So like, it's legit, like my hands are cramped up, but like I can get a whole hand on it. I can still get up on here. I can reverse around and, you know, get on the back side to be able to power in, reverse it around this way, put my thumb on top, round it on top, still be able to power in this way. So I don't know what the dude's going to do with the knife, if he does anything with it, but some of that jimping is kind of functional. It's not like, I'm not going to say it's like grippiest, but it's not slick. So if you get something on you, you know, it definitely would help in both those positions. So that's why the jimping's there. That's pretty much the amount of machining I did, other than the holes to mount the hardware there. But that's it, just a combo, Tanto, pretty simple, kind of a drop pointy-ish Tanto, I guess. I don't know. I in my mind, I kind of wanted to do something different, and these little fin things, this little fin and this little fin, I don't know, it just kind of came out as I was doing it. I was like, it kind of looks like a, I don't know, just like a little bit of, I don't know, I just got the idea of like a fish kind of thing. So when I was doing it, I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna go with it. Who cares? And like I said, I kind of just reheated this sheath up, and just so I can just legit just cramming it in there. It don't have good retention or nothing. You can kind of see it's just kind of just pops in and out. I may try to heat it up and mold it a little more, but I don't know shit about Kydex making. I really don't want to learn anymore. At this point, I don't really care. I'm gonna call this one done, give it to Cal tomorrow, and then it's out of my life. The heat treating has got better, so that's the important part of that conversation, what I was trying to get at. But thanks, Billy, for testing the first one. I was going to send the second one too, but it got where it was close. I was going to have to be, I had to go to the bank and FedEx, and that's kind of sort of, I can make a trip to there another 30 minutes, basically. And so I just went to the machine shop that I used to work at and got to test it. So it was kind of good to see those old guys anyhow. Like, a lot of people ain't there that used to be there. So I think out of that whole shop, since I've been gone more or less a couple years, like I think there's like 3 or 4 people that I saw working in there that still know me, work there. I worked for almost 13 years, so like that shop rolls over quick, I guess. While we're talking about Billy, because Billy had sent that back, he asked if I wanted to check it out, and I was like, hell yeah, I want to check it out. So I feel this is he did the debut, so this is the second time this is going to be featured on the YouTube channel. This is Jed Hornbeek's Balisong, pocket clip and all. Look at that thing is sick, dude. So, you know, I'm not a Bally user. I'll go ahead and straight up say it. Like, I have zero experience with Bally's. I bought my nephew a trainer at Blade, and now I need that trainer. I'm gonna hit my nephew up, see if he can learn me up. But luckily this one's not sharpened. So I showed Hot Rod, first thing she did is get out, flip it, pow, smack the shit out of her fingers. She shake it, hand it right back. She didn't want it no more. So I thought it was kind of funny. It's like, you think you know what you're doing until you start messing around. But luckily this don't have no edge on it. But I just want to show it because like it's such a sick knife, man. It does give me ideas of making bruiser Balisongs. Not gonna lie. Like, I know it's not like Billy was saying, Balisongs are like the redheaded stepchild of folding knives. But man, this is not cool as shit. It's just so beefy and burly. I love it, man. Like, and yeah, I would like a thicker blade personally if it was mine. Probably do, you know, a little bit different grind personally if it was mine. But look how like the ideas of that already just kind of stoking my brain. Like, here I was thinking, you know, after frame locks, I don't know whether I'm really interested in a whole lot of other things. And then another thing popped up this week besides the Bally. So just to talk about the Bally for half a second before I go on a side tangent here. I don't know shit about like how they're supposed to flip, where the safety latch and all that other stuff. Like, I don't really know anything about any of these. I just know that when I put this in hand and hold it, I like it, and I feel like it can cut good and sturdy. And I get that whole tough but light. This for me is light. It's probably not for average people, but I don't know. I'm just gonna guess somewhere around 5 ounces or something. Like, let's see. Let's do the Koenig Arius test. Yeah, it's about the same weight as a Koenig Arius. So you get a lot more blade, a lot more blade length and handle length. They ain't gonna get crammed up on that guy compared to the Arius. And I imagine if you get to fondling with it, you could probably fidget with it just as much, if not more. Anyway, I figured I'd just show it off, man. I just thought it was a really cool knife, man. And I'm assuming he's doing a lot of this process CNC. Maybe he's doing it manual. I don't know. But it looked like something you would do more or less. Once you got the design, I figured out you'd do it, probably design it up and do it in CNC. I'd love to see him do a production run of those. And if he does, probably sign me up for one. I'm definitely down with it. I might have to talk him into making mine extra ridiculously thick for no reason. Because I'm guessing, I'm just going to look at it and guess. 150 thou or so, just guessing. Like just blade stock. So most of y'all would be happy with that. You know, I'm around the 200 thou kind of blade stock kind of guy. 3/16 is probably like the minimum of where I feel like that's beefy enough to make me feel good. You know what I mean? All right. Enough stupid shit on that end of it. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, let's do this first. I had noticed, where's the damn box? There it goes. Okay. Y'all can tell when I sit here and turn the camera on that I really don't know what I'm talking about. I just kind of pile some shit up, and then whatever oozes out my mouth is y'all's video. You know, I could prepare and be legitimately a YouTuber, but I think I have more fun just bullshit with y'all. I saw that Lynch Northwest, which I've never really been a pocket clip guy. Like, I've never been into production knives long enough to like want pocket clips, or when I was into production knives, these guys weren't doing their thing like this. Like, you know, or at least, I don't know. It's never clicked with me. I've changed pocket clips before, especially like the ZTs, like the MXZ or whatever the hell, MSZ, whatever the hell that other, I don't know if they're Chinese or not. I don't want to talk shit if they ain't, but I never bought a Lynch clip before, and I should have. So I just wondered, anyway, I saw this design on the CRK clip. And y'all know I'm really not into productions. I thought this was an interesting procedure, and I went to get the box to get this out of it, you big dumbass. So the stock clip's just a little stamp clip. I think everybody knows what a CRK clip looks like. Just a little stamp titanium thing. I'll even throw a picture of it up because I'll take a picture and try to edit it in if I'm not lazy. But this is basically a two-piece replacement. So you got a base piece and then a clip piece. And I'll show you the one. I got two of them because I wasn't sure which one I want. But the base piece screws on first, and then this screws on to the base piece. So it's essentially, I know most people will call it deep carry. Yeah, so it'd be a deep carry clip, but a milled deep carry clip. So it's not like the fold over kind. Like, I don't know what, for whatever reason, like I would never change that clip for like one of those bent over kind of, just not my style. Don't agree with me. Don't look as good on the knife. But I saw this one and I was like, oh, yeah, that definitely looks good. I've seen, I think it was, I want to say Scotch and Things. I want to say, were they Lynch clips before or were they somebody else's? I want to say they were Lynch, but I could be wrong. But I remember they were fancy materials and stuff like that. And I almost bought one of those, but I was like, just wait. I like the way it looked, but I was like, just wait, just see what happens. But this guy is a substantially thicker milled clip. So I don't know, most of you guys probably aren't the same as me, but when I see, like, especially at CRKs, like the inlays, one CRKs are generally the non-Zon ones are generally the ones I like because they add a little bit of girth. So I thought with this milled clip, maybe it'll help. And yeah, it does. It actually does feel a little bit beefier in the back of your hand, you know, and as you're gripping it, it just fills it out a little more. No sharp edges. Everything works good. So if any of you guys like the look of that, go check out Lynch. But I'm pretty sure these are brand new. If not, I'm a dumbass and they late $1 short. But hey, does it really matter? No, not really. It's just a cool product that I thought I would try out. I like, man. So I got an extra one. So Scotch and Things, I'm about to see you next week. If you want it, let me know. If you don't, I'll probably let one of you guys take it, or maybe I'll give it away or something. I don't know. But it's just basically the same thing. It just has a little hole cut out in it. And, you know, if I had more than one CRK, maybe I'd keep it. But I don't have more than one CRK. I only have this one. Let's see. Yeah, as I mentioned, Steve and his buddy Kevin's which is, I'm not going to say his Instagram name because I don't know if he wants to associate the two. I just know, I always call him just Kevin when I see him in person. It's not like I called Steve Scotch and things. So anyway, Steve and Kevin coming next week, cover their buddies too. I'm thinking when it's going to happen, I got to call Steve back because he called yesterday and I hadn't had a chance to talk to him. I'm going to go up there on Saturday, probably spend the night up there at the hotel with them dudes, and then come back on Sunday. I'm going to try to talk Steve and maybe even Kevin into doing a little sitting bullshit on Sunday morning, post it up before I ride back. I don't know if we'll bring camera gear. It might just be a handheld phone, so y'all probably ain't going to get nothing like great video next week, but I'll do something. And if that don't happen, if we don't have time or don't feel like doing it or whatever else, maybe when I get home next weekend. So it might be a later in the evening video next week, which, you know, this one's not exactly early either, but I had priorities. What else did I did this week? Well, this is not actually this week, it's last week, but I got it this week. FedEx been slow. Have y'all noticed that? All those nights I sent back to Shane, they're supposed to be there Monday. They didn't get there till Thursday. And I'm like, man, that's 2-day express and they're 3 days late. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, normally FedEx is like on point. They say it's because of the weather. I don't know. I just know FedEx ain't doing what they used to do. Like, they used to be up on Johnny on the spot, and I could send it anywhere, and there was always pretty much, if anything, a day late, never 3 days late. So I know, Dan, you got to set them straight for us, bro. All right, GF1. So y'all remember a while back I had that Damascus one, had a hole in it. Plain tie, kind of matched my kickstand Damascus one. So brother Evan's got that one now. And this one popped up on Facebook. Somebody even tagged me on it. I think George or something tagged me on that video, or tagged me on that post saying, hey, don't you do one? Didn't you say you wanted these? And I said, yes, I did, but I'm going to wait. And for whatever reason, I just wanted to wait. Well, the dude marked it down again, and I was like, dude, you know, I'm just going to mess with the guy. It's a totally cool guy. I believe his name was Will, if I'm not mistaken. And I got this one for dirt cheap. Like, knives apparently must not be selling because, or certain knives must not be selling, I guess. I got this under $500. And that's ridiculous. For a DSK, I've never, ever seen, other than maybe that little small one. What's that called that you have, Denise? The little kickstand Ultra Mini Sidekick. That's what it is. Other than that Sidekick, I've never seen anything sub $500. So to get this for under $500, I was like, hell, I cannot pass that up. Will mods come? Yeah, probably so. Actually, I know so because as soon as I showed Evan the clip, he was like, hey, let's trade clips. I'm like, sure. He liked this clip better. And it's got it basically, instead of being flat across, it's got the little swoop in it. I guess it helps a little bit with the flex. And most of Dan's clips are pretty strong. They don't really have a whole lot of flex in them. But I hardly ever carry this one in the pocket, like in the pocket clip. I usually just drop it in my pocket on my left side. So this is what most people would say is a gentleman's knife, I guess, or should I say something like this is more most people gentleman's knives, and that's kind of mine. So, you know. Yeah, I know it's ridiculous, but it is what I do carry this left pocket when I carry it most of the time. I have carried a GF1 on my right pocket, but most of the time, this is like backup style for me. This is like ridiculous, I know, but it is what it is. I mean, I got the Aries in my pocket today, so like this fights the Aries for pocket time. Is that ridiculous or what? Yeah, I know. Problems of a high-end knife collector, right? Speaking of which, you know that I was talking about not a couple weeks ago, the Daiwa kind of, I won't say, it's just my thoughts on somebody who reviewed one. And then, thanks to Evan, who gave me the heads up that Jose, that's, you know, roundabout, we all like tight-knit community, right? Anyway, Evan gave me heads up, so Jose was selling, and he was selling this Solo. And I was like, no way, dude, you're selling your Solo? He's like, yeah. He's waited 2 years for that thing, and then he ended up selling it. He just said he wasn't carrying it, wasn't using it. He's selling a bunch of stuff. He's got, you know, expenses coming up. So I tried to get him to trade me on it, but he wouldn't have no trades. He's like, I got to sell, bro. I was like, yeah, I get you, man. And this is just one that I just couldn't pass up, man. And he gave me a bro price too. So thanks again, bro. Appreciate you, Jose. Full tie. So as I was showing my S90 a second ago, so S90 full tie, Solo full tie. This one is, you can see the hardware. The hardware is like solid on this one with a little Torx head on this side. And that hardware is kind of like, almost like the Strider-esque, but it's, you know, basically a Allen wrench on both sides. I think it's Allen wrench. It might be Torx. Even with these reading glasses, I got to get my other reading glasses to see my up on my magnifiers. But dude, trying to find if those screws were, y'all can probably see in the video, if those screws were Torx or Allen wrenches, because the bolt below this and CRK hardware is an Allen wrench. I was like, I can't see a damn thing. I cannot tell what that is. So my eyes is not the best, which is probably why I'm not as crucial about certain things that maybe other people are, right? So anyway, back to the Solo here, and just a quick little thickness check here. So this is the S90, this is the Solo. So you can see he contoured it so much, but you also see the blade's super thick. So the overall thickness is just about, let me see if I can rotate these evenly. There you go. So overall thickness is pretty close to the same. Pretty close. This one might be actually, the S90 might be a little bit thicker, but the blade stock's thicker on the Solo. The titanium's thinner. I know when Jose got it, he was like, damn, I kind of wish he made the titanium thicker, but I know that's why he didn't do it. He wanted to keep it like the whole overall profile thinner. You know, when it comes to knives like this, for me at least, like I like the rawness of bruisers more so than this is kind of going to the elegant side of bruisers, like where it's not really a bruiser anymore. It's just an overbuilt knife. I don't know why it separates from me for some reason. This is right on that border. So like some of their higher end, like customs and stuff that you see, like some of those, just like most of it's material, but they get on that whole, they go to a different level of, I don't know how to say it. Like when the build quality and the overall fit and finish and stuff are that high of a level for me anyhow. Like I like the bruisers better. I just like it's kind of like getting a used car versus a new car. You get a used car, you kind of like, you don't really give a damn if you get a little scratch here or there on it. You know, you kind of, it's already got a little wear and tear. And that's kind of how I feel about the bruisers. They ain't like as elegantly finished. Like, look how nice that blade grinds are. Look how good he did on that. And this is done by hand, man. Like, this is not CNC or nothing. I mean, he does use part CNC, and I'll show you why here in a second. I know that. But he does his grinds by hand. Like, as a grinder, like I struggled with this Tonto getting my lines even, like side to side and that sort of thing. Like, I struggle with that. Like, I'm very much still, you know, a newbie, even though I've been grinding for a while, still a newbie compared to like somebody like this. Like, just insane grinds. Like, I love how he grinds. But I believe his name is Eric, ain't it? That owns Direware. Anyway, like, this is one that not all Direware detents seem to be tuned the same from what I can tell. The flippers, if it's flipper only, usually it's stout. Like, it's super stout. And you really can't finger flick this one. Like, this one finger flicks like absolutely easy as hell. Especially with that Strider hole in there too. Like, just give it a little more leverage on it. Like, it's just money. I think the reason, or how he's accomplishing this, is if you look inside that, you see that pocket he's milled out there, and that is CNC work. You see the tool path there? That's all CNC tool path there. I believe he does that on the outside. It's like a relief because he's doing the contouring thing. So this would be a normal, like this kind of pocket. Most people do this, or sometimes, whereas the DSK a little slightly different. Yeah, you see how that's got like a couple of grooves in there. I don't have any other examples of anything that will be substantial. Well, I show you the other Direware. So normally he does like that kind of pocket or the thicker titanium. But interestingly enough, you see how he left it alone on this side of the pocket, or at least somewhat alone. And on the inside, if you can look at the inside, hopefully you see just that. You see he did the pocket on the inside and the outside. So it's kind of interesting how he did that. And I think the reason he's doing that extra pocket, basically, instead of just doing one on the inside or just one on the outside, is because it lightens the lock bar pressure. So the lock bar flexes a little easier to make it a little easier for that finger flick. That's my quick analysis of it anyhow. Like, it just seems like every little, one that I've messed with that's flipper only just seems so stout. Even that S90, so with that S90 is, like, I can finger flick this guy, but it's set up definitely for the flipper. Let's see if I can do it here. I don't know how hard you can tell I'm pushing on this thing, but yeah, I can do it, but it's tough. It's super tough. It likes to lock you out. Super sensitive on lock bar pressure. But yeah, so Solo acquisition, full tie. I wanted one of these for a while, full tie. This grind is just absolutely amazing to me. A recurve with that huge Tonto. Like, look at that. It's just a meaty looking little guy. And the 1/4-inch stick too. Like, when Jose told me he ordered this guy, I was like, man, this is gonna be so badass, dude. I hate it because I hate seeing my bros having to sell knives. But if you ain't connecting with it, like we've talked about this before, and you got to have a minimal amount of knives. I have an absorbent amount of knives. I got a ridiculous. I keep buying shit, even though I keep saying I need to sell shit. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me, but some deals I can't pass up. So, like, right now the deals are having, it's all I'm buying, apparently. Like, I don't need to be buying, but I'm buying. And I still got a couple custom knives on order that are, you know, probably being made or getting ready to get made in the next month or two anyhow. So like, ridiculous, man. I know I'm dumb, and I know, but I'll get my shit straight one of these days. So the other thing I wanted to bring out, and 25 minutes in, probably almost nobody's going to actually get this far, but, or I'm, you know, my people will get there. But like, as far as like general public, I think Transparent Knives is doing regrinds again. I saw a little video about him describing like a jig regrind versus freehand regrinds. There's a lot of good information in that for you guys who don't realize that I jig regrind, and everything he pretty much said in that, what I caught out of that video, was 100% exactly how I feel about it. I don't ever describe and articulate words. Like, I think he articulates words better than me in that regard. He did a great job in the video. So video live, I don't know what it was. I saw it, but I can't remember. But I know he does regrinds. BGM does regrinds. Knifetastic. Rodney does millwork. AR Customs does millwork, bearing pockets, that sort of thing. What's the other guy? Fast LT1 or 1LT NOS something. Y'all know any other knife modders that, like, from Instagram handles, other YouTube channels, anything like that that does knife mods? Do me a favor and just like let me know, or tell me in the comments, or however else, who you know that does other knife mods. Because while I was slow around between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I had extra time. I was trying to get y'all to send me stuff. Nobody want to send nothing, or very few. And now it seems when I'm going to quit that I'm getting a lot more work. I'm asking where they could else send their stuff. And I don't really know. Like, I didn't know a lot of these people did this stuff until I started trying to find who else can do this stuff so I could refer you guys to other people. I don't really know the quality of their work. I can only see it in pictures. Like, I've never held it, experienced it. But what I've seen in pictures looks like phenomenal work. You're probably in better hands with those guys than you are me at this point. Like, I really want to focus on the making part of it. I'm not going to be able to do anything this week, I can tell you already. But hopefully week after next, I'll start the next reblade. I'll say it right here in a minute. Start the next reblade. Oh, I want to show you something. Hang on one second. I gotta get parts. It's probably the bag too. Yeah. I wasn't gonna show it. Then I was like, you know what? Why not? Like, why not? So a while back, this was kind of tricked in on the trade. Aperion, I don't know how you say it, but it's a funky blade, dude. And so I was taking this knife apart because I was thinking that's probably the cool one to do next. Like, there was enough issues with it. I was gonna have to do some mechanical changes, like figuring out how to, you know, maybe move a stop pin or do something. But you could just tell when you felt the knife, like it was not like something was off with it. And this is secondhand. You know, I didn't get this knife new, and I have no idea what has been done to it from the manufacturer. So this is no fault of the manufacturer at all. It just came to me this way. And like, I took it apart, and the lock bar is sitting. Let's see if I can show you guys. Right. So the lock bar is sitting like something like this, like about that high off the frame. And you could push it over and it would, you know, engage the blade and lock up, but it would be a later lockup. So I was like, well, let me see if I can just tweak it. And I just touched it. Bing! Off she come. So lock bar got sheared. I think, looking at it, it's hard to tell. But looking at this, let's see if I can show you this way, if the camera will focus. Looking at it, the one that broke in was the shallower one. Like, if I hold it up this way, this is really a shit video, I'm sorry. But it's the thinnest point. And it's ironic that it's the one in the middle that was the thinnest. I think basically, you know, instead of having, I know some people just mill the grooves in there, but it's basically to let the lock bar kind of roll instead of one pivot point that it comes from. And I think basically because of that thinness in that one area, it was all the flex was coming from that one certain area, and it just, you know, overflex and bang. You know, and that's why most people cut their lock bars flat like that. It gives it that whole area to kind of curve. It's not bending on one particular point. Like, it's not here and bending there. It's the whole thing, so the whole thing can flex, if it makes sense. That's how I saw it in my mind anyhow. But I figured I'd show you because that was going to be the next reblade, and it ain't no more. I think I'm going to try to make like a sub lock bar and like bolt it in somewhere so I can save the knife. I want to kind of keep the pattern on it and that sort of thing. So I might just try to make like a piece that goes to a piece kind of thing. Just like a titanium bridge, if you will, where it would be cut. But we'll see, you know. I mean, I haven't done it yet. I'm just thinking it'd probably be cool to try to do that, but that's more like time consuming and more machining that I really don't want to get into that shit right now. Still got a few people sending me stuff, trying to send me stuff, but I know I had somebody refer me to somebody else, and they just hit me up like a couple of days ago, and I feel bad turning people down. I really do, but like I got to quit that in order to advance the other part. I know you guys understand, but I keep saying it, but it sucks because I really would like to take everybody's work on and do everybody's work. I'm just not gonna have time to do anything. So I think what I've decided is, like, today's crazy. I got a lot more stuff to do, like around here, payroll, all that other kind of business crap. And then I'll spend this afternoon doing, like, right, I got some work from Paul to finish up and some work from Denise to button up, a few things to pack up. I'm just going to concentrate on doing like Sunday afternoons of y'all stuff. And then throughout the week, I'm going to do what I want to do on my stuff. And I think that's how I'm going to roll until I get through with everybody else's stuff. We'll see how it goes, I guess. 30 minutes. Well, I guess I did extra this week. So if I don't do extra or put one out next week, or it's a short one next week, you know why. But I'm going to call Steve. We're going to figure out what's going on. Hopefully see him in 5 or 6 days, depending on when he sees this. And we'll see you guys next weekend, hopefully with Steve and Kevin. All right, y'all be cool. Later.